Hello and welcome back to Deus Machina Demonbane. High above Arkham, within the illusory Heart Mother, innumerable particles of light gather and explode, turning the dark space white. The machine god, the nameless god, stands in the midst of the light like an enormous mobile temple. And as before, the girl is standing on its head. Her bonds dissolve into the pages of a grimoire, exposing her body, and the pages morph into a layer upon layer of tiny threads, which come together to form new clothes. They are the clothes that dear Jukuru once bought for a girl named Anir. Girlish and cute, they are wholly unsuited for this evil place, filled with corruption and insanity. Anir, Tyrant Nero, murmurs to herself, her cherubic face twisted with dark joy. This is where it truly begins. From now on, the story exists for we who stand at the centre of fate. This stage is not meant for bit players like you, Augustus. There is no light. There is no darkness. My eyes do not open. My eyes do not close. And therefore, I cannot help but see. There is no screaming. There is no silence. I feel no pain. I feel no peace. And therefore I have nothing to hold on to. I am not awake, nor I am asleep. This is a dream. I drift through a dream. Shadows from the past, images of the present, and hope for the future? I'm at the edge of death. My body and soul are evaporating, melting into the world. And even so, is the future still bright? I have no answer. I have no response. I give myself to the dream, to this death-like half-sleep. Yithna, Tekflana, Yoksagoth. This is the end. Carmeon. Yithna, Hithnara, Glach, Glola. Begone, fiend! Return to the court of your father! Ithnia, Ayena, Naka, Nathgar, Hayu, help, help! Father, Yog-Sagoth! Well done, Al-Azif. I did not expect you to destroy that other. That monster that existed by the laws of another universe. Now then, a time for the next step. Come, entertain me. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Crimson flowers. Flowers soaked in blood and wreathed in flame. The flowers of life bloom and scatter. Their petals dance upon the wind. They are fragments of life. They are fragments of light. The glow of fading lives illuminates the dark road. The road I walk is painted crimson. And there is only blood and flesh and bone and fire and steel. There is only an eternity of emptiness. The corpses of warriors rise to block my path. Their lifeless eyes cry out to me. Do they hate me? Do they resent me? Do they curse me? No. A corpse holds out its hand. Its blood-stained fist, it clenches an unblemished sword. And in the midst of all this carnage, in the midst of all this grief, its blade alone remains free of any stain or doubt. Their lifeless eyes entreat me. They cry out to me with voiceless voices. Yet they will not be silenced. They cannot be silenced. With all their power, with all their being, they implore me. Take up your sword to stop the tears, to stop the blood, and most of all for the sake of he who fights even now. Kuru. Ah! As Beelzebub leaps out of the black pit, I open fire with the Vulcans, and the roar of the cannons fills my ears, and the muzzle flash burns away the night. However, every round is deflected by Beelzebub's barrier field. Shit! Beelzebub lands with a thundering boom, spreading its arms in challenge. Miasma surrounding it blows away, leaving only the robed giant standing opposite Demonbane. Darling, what should we do, Robo? We can't use the Lumeria impact, Robo. Damn. Okay, forget about not being able to access the Hypernia system. Demonbane doesn't even have its right arm anymore. Without the mere impact, we only have one weapon that'll work against a Deus Machina. We're jumping, Elsa! Demonbane soars into the sky of Arkham. And when we hit the apex of our jump, I use a blast from the leg shields to put us onto a screaming dive straight towards Beelzebub. While fighting against the insane G's, I activate the leg shields again, preparing to send the energy straight to the enemy. Oh my, sure you should be attacking so carelessly. I hear Tiberius' mocking voice. What the hell's he talking about? Light surges from Demonbane's legs as Beelzebub rapidly gets closer. With this Atlantis strike... Huh? Shit! Chapter 13. Blade Runner. I force the energy vector away from Beelzebub, turning my diving kick into a caricature of a roundhouse. The blast from the Atlantis strike annihilates the building next to Beelzebub. And the next, and the next, and the next! Tossed into the air by the energy backlash, I fire the auxiliary thrusters to straighten us out, and we smash into the ground a fair distance from Beelzebub. Ugh! Thanks to my series of insane maneuvers, I feel like my guts have been run through a blender. Forcing down the urge to vomit, I manage to remain conscious by force of will alone. Hey, darling, what are you doing, Robo? Tiberius, you son of a bitch! I'm on the verge of losing it. I can easily imagine the shit-eating grin on Tiberius' face. It makes my head feel like it'll explode with anger. How fucking rotten are you? Oh, well, I am a zombie after all. Anyway, now you get it. A giant cross has been attached to Beelzebub's head, like some portable Golgotha. And tied to the cross is a girl that I know. No! Hadao Ruri. You fucking scum! Oh, defeat me if you can, but I'll be taking little Miss Ruri with me. Shit! The princess has fallen into their hands. No wonder I couldn't access the Hypernia system. The butler and the maid's alright, what about the others? Anxiety explodes in my chest. Okay, calm down. I have to save the princess first. But how? Oh, can't do anything? I guess you are pretty helpless. Oh, I love playing with idiots like you. Beelzebub suddenly rushes forward and grabs Demonbane by the face. Damn! Bad tripwine! Robo! A powerful shock runs through Demonbane as miasma pours into it from Beelzebub's hands. Several hundred magic circuits, including the main ones, are contaminated, instantly going out of control or freezing altogether. The Azoth feedback pulse rages inside the cockpit. Kaya! Oh, come, let me hear the sweet music of your screams. Please more and more until I can't take it anymore. Kuru! Kuru! Shit, princess! Footsteps echo down the long, long passage into the darkness. The disciples turn to face the sound, and every last one of them instantly freezes, rendered motionless by shock, awe, and terror. The girl walks calmly through the ranks of petrified disciples. Even in this hive of demons, she walks with light steps, humming as she approaches the throne room in the dark recesses of the temple. The girl's name is Nero, and she is the demon known as the Tyrant, whose exceeding weight of evil and utter inhumanity, surpassing all others in this haven of demons and sinners, caused her to be sealed in the deepest of dungeons. As she reaches the final gate, the guards standing to either side raise their guns. Stop! Pop. There's the sound of balloons bursting, and the men collapse like lifeless dolls. Their corpses soon evaporate into black mist, consumed by the miasma filling the temple. Without a second glance at the melting bodies, the girl stands before the gate. A magic circle flashes on its surface, and it opens slowly, with much creaking. This is a temple-cum-throne room. It is vast and circular, like the Colosseums of ancient Rome, and from the throne at its centre, all points can be seen. The throne is surrounded on its dais by the 7 seats of the anticross. Of these, 4 are empty. A 5th, Nero's seat, has been sealed out of fear, and before the remaining 2 seats stand Augustus and Vespanius. They watch, unblinking, as Nero approaches from the main gate. I did not expect you to come of your own volition, Nero. I suppose you timed your arrival to the absence of the other anticross. Nero responds by tilting her head in confusion. She sounds surprised by the suggestion. But I just took care of Claudius. He was awfully weak, you know. She smiles faintly. If the girl Aeneas had ever shown this smile to Kuru, it would no doubt have turned his guts to ice. It's a horribly inhuman smile, filled with unspeakable evil, yet still somehow gentle. It's rather reminiscent of Master Theria. If that's all you're capable of, I'm afraid no matter how many of you there are, you're much too overconfident, Augustus. Nero laughs. There's no light in her eyes, only a cold, burning darkness. Augustus breaks out in a cold sweat. Vespanius is no different. Almost high on the terror, he's poised for anything. Augustus speaks to the tension-filled air. Yes, I have a question for you regarding that. Why is it that you resist us so? Oh, hold on a minute. Where do you get off asking that after locking me in that place? It was the Grand Master who imprisoned you, and I slew him. There is no reason why we should not be able to come to terms. Nero's eyes narrow, and her soft smile becomes a smirk of undisguised contempt. You think I'm some ignorant fool? You're so rude. The Sea Priestess? You needed me to be your sacrifice, don't you? Without my power and Nameless One as the core unit, you can't control Cthulhu. I know everything you're planning. Augustus responds with a cruel grin. There's no longer any fear in his expression. Dauntless even before the most powerful anticross. He, too, is a true demon. Then I'm afraid we have no choice. Will you submit quietly, young lady? Vespanius moves first. His mantle flaps wildly despite the absence of wind. Vitulus! An enormous face appears on Vespanius' belly, emerging from his suit itself. Its gaping jaws are a window to purgatory, and fire erupts from its mouth as it roars. The flames wash over Nero in the blink of an eye, the roaring inferno licking hungrily at her skin. However, you really are overconfident. You're insane if you think you control the demon god at your level. I think you need a little education. Power surges from Nero's body. The raging flames are instantly blasted away as though they never existed, and fusing with her messy hair, the girl glares balefully at Vespanius. Oh, scorched my hair a little. Huh? Vespanius wraps his cane against the floor. The marble underneath Nero begins to warp and bulge. Nero loses her balance and lands bottom first on the growing marble, which soon becomes a gigantic hand that tries to crush her. The giant's hand encloses Nero and begins to squeeze. However, not bad for a magician's trick. The fist cracks and shatters. Before they can even hit the floor, the fragments of marble disintegrate to sand. Nero lands on the floor with sand raining on her head. She breathes some in and starts coughing violently. And I have to think ahead before breaking spells. A spear of light streaks towards her face, but just before it reaches her, the light is deflected into a completely different direction. Augustus curses. Several dozen slabs of gold are floating around him, each glowing with arcane symbols. Each slab suddenly lights up at once, and a sphere of light forms between each pair. Luminous! When released, the spheres bounce wildly through the maze formed by the plates of gold, drawing a network of radiant beams. In a few seconds, these beams ricochet out of the group and make a beeline for Nero. How simple! Nero raises her right hand, and just then... Apport! The golden slabs surrounding Augustus suddenly vanish, only to reappear around Nero. Beams of light enter the cage. Once again, the beams bounce between the panes, trapping Nero in a shining prison. The light comes upon her from all directions. Not much better than a street performer. Nero mutters with disappointment, and then takes a deep, deep breath. Well, that seems like a good point to end this part, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next.